Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. MC-Mura here, and in today's video we're gonna be talking about which characters got the best EX moves in Street Fighter V. This is not about which specific EX move is the best. This is about which characters got really good set of EX moves. Now it doesn't mean that that character is top tier, just means that they are meter hungry for the most part, or can be very good if they are constantly using meter. Starting first with number 5, which is our Mika. Every single EX move that our Mika have is actually very powerful. Starting first with EX Peach. EX Peach is 5 frame startup, it is armored, and it got a lot of range. And because of this, it allows Mika to punish things that a lot of other characters simply can't, like Akira's standing heavy kick. It's -6 on block, our Mika got a lot of range, so bam bam EX Peach, and you get a punish. And because it's very fast, you can even whiff punish with it, so if she happened to whiff, bam bam EX Peach, that is actually really good. This attack also got a lot of corner carry, so if you happen to hit someone with it, you can take them to the corner. There is a very good hit confirm from standing medium punch. You don't have to cancel this. Notice this is +8, so this is just a link. It's a very easy combo, does a lot of damage and a lot of corner carry, so this is excellent. And obviously you can even combo into it from lights, which makes it a very good combo tool as well. Now this used to have Oki, doesn't have it anymore, but still EX Peach, I do think it will always be one of the best moves in the game. Now it doesn't stop there with our Mika, because there is another couple of command grabs that are actually very good as well. Starting first obviously with EX Typhoon. This is a very good command grab, it does a lot of damage. This does 240 damage, which is quite much. It's actually the most damaging EX command grab, I believe, in the game, meterless at least, that doesn't start a combo, right? So if you're talking about, like, it does even more damage than Zangief's EX SBD and Birdie's EX Headbutt. And obviously if you have the V-Skill 1 power up, or even the V-Skill 2 power up, this is now doing 288, almost 290, which is quite substantial. This is a lot of damage. Now the EX Brimstone is also very good. If you happen to use a regular Brimstone and you dash up, notice our Mika should be +2 in this instant, right? Which is really good. But what happens if you try to use your standing light punch, right? I mean, you kind of have to get one of them, maybe you can get two, it's a little bit character specific. If you happen to use the standing medium punch after this combo, you will get an air reset. So if you go for the standing medium punch after command grab and the opponent having to backdash, you get air reset. Now the special thing about EX Brimstone is that our Mika is +3 on this dash. This means that our Mika gets a much better follow-ups after it. You can go for a standing light punch into target combo, right, and you will get the whole thing. You can go for standing medium punch and you will get the grounded hit, right? Notice this is substantially better on Oki than the regular Brimstone, and one of the really good solid things about it is that it also got a lot of range, right? So if you use 2 normals and then regular Brimstone, even with the light, this doesn't connect. If you use the EX Throw, you still get it, right? So it's an excellent command grab. For Oki and pressure, this one is excellent. Finally, we got the EX Wingless Airplane. This is a pretty fantastic anti-air in all honesty. It is amazing, right? Because this is invincible to air attacks from frame 1. So you can kind of use it in like a cross-cut fashion or like autocorrect fashion, kind of like this. I did it very late, still got it. And our Mika actually get Oki out of this, right? Dash up and our Mika is +2. And what's really solid about it is that it's also projectile invincible. So let's say that Akira is doing something like this, or like an Akuma Fireball, right? You can always just EX Wingless, go through it, get your Oki, and deal solid damage. Honestly, every single one of these is really amazing, and that's why I believe our Mika have one of the best EX moves in Street Fighter V. Number 4 is gonna be my boy Mr. Cody, and Cody technically got 3, I mean I guess you can say 4 EX moves, and I rate all of them very highly. Let's start first with the public enemy, the one that if you play Cody you love, if you don't play Cody you absolutely hate the character and hate it, and that is the EX Zonk, right? Because EX Zonk is a truly specific move, right? I mean, it got a lot of range, right? It's about 2/3 of the screen, so that's actually really good. It's very fast. EX Zonk is like 15 frame startup, I believe, so it's actually really fast for a tackle move as well, and it leads to a really good knockdown. On a back rise, you dash twice, you're gonna be +9. Here I messed it up by 1 frame, you should be +9 on this knockdown, which is honestly amazing. It means that you get pressure regardless if they happen to quick rise or back rise. That is awesome. Now it's really good for whiff punishing as well. I want to happen to whiff something, you EX Zonk. But also what's really good about it is that it pretty much combos from anything. So you whiff punish with a standing light kick, you get an EX Zonk. You whiff punish with a standing medium punch, you get an EX Zonk, and all of that will lead to a really good knockdown. And don't forget, also really good corner carry. This is amazing corner carry as well, right? And like I said, because it combos from everything, it's really good to use off of flights as well. So that is incredible. Now the main reasons that people dislike this move is because of its incredible potency on block, because this attack is also plus on block, believe it or not, right? This is +3 on block, and because it's +3 on block, people fear that they have to hold Cody's plus frames, his throw mix-up. Now he is not in throw range, but he can walk forward into a throw or shake you low, but you can kind of backdash. It's only really scary in V-Trigger 1, I would say, but it's still really solid. And the V-Trigger activation here, this is like one of the very best in my opinion, right? This is an amazing V-Trigger activation. So EX Zonk is ridiculous. It pretty much does everything, right? One of the best moves in the game, hand down. Now, it doesn't stop there with EX Zonk, because this move gets even more ridiculous when you think about what the potential of level 2 EX Zonk is, right? Because if you happen to hold the EX moves at least 2 buttons for like 5 seconds, you get the level 2 Zonk, which is +5 on block, and because it's +5 on block, the forward walk into throw is pretty much guaranteed. At +5 and with Cody's forward walk speed, no one can walk back out of it, so this is pretty ridiculous. And on hit, this will lead to a wall bounce, which means a ridiculous amount of damage. Like, let's say you are here, you're in the neutral, walking back and forth, you buffer one standing light kick, Zonk Knuckle, and that is 305 damage from one light kick with punish. That is amazing. I think we all know how stupid good EX Zonk is, right? But his other EX moves are also really powerful as well. EX Tornado Sweep is amazing because this has 3 hits of projectile durability. It is kind of a slow moving projectile, so you can use it and then walk behind it to approach the opponent. If the opponent, say you're fighting against Ryu or in like a fireball zoning character, you can simply use it and use this as a way to close the distance. This is very powerful. In the corner, this is very powerful as well, because you can do something like this. You're +2 and immediately go for a throw. You are in throw range. I love to do standing light kick, standing heavy punch into EX Tornado, and bam, you get the hit. And if you happen to land the hit here, you still get to follow up with a combo. This is a very powerful pressure tool if you happen to get them to the corner, right? So again, one of the really good EX moves. And obviously he also got the EX Ruffian, which is a launcher move, right? EX Ruffian, because it's forward moving, it means that Cody gets really consistent whiff punishes. Let's say with Cody, you whiff punch with a standing medium punch, combo into EX Ruffian, and now you're getting really good damage. Obviously if you're in the corner and if you have V-Skill 2, you get the V-Skill 2 follow-up, which is a lot of damage. And obviously if you happen to have the level 2 Zonk with the like even regular level 2 Zonk, you can juggle off of the EX Ruffian, right? That is like insane damage output, 390. So each one of Cody's EX moves pretty much lead to a ton of damage. They're amazing in all honesty. Number 3 is gonna be Poison, and Poison is also one of these characters whose every EX special move is really good, and she have a lot of them, and some of them are really cheap. Now let's start first with the basic ones, which are gonna be the EX Shocking Heal and the EX Avant line, right? EX Shocking Heal is pretty much a combo filler move. You pretty much use it and then get to combo into V skill 2 if you have it, or V skill 1, and then you get to follow up, lead to good damage, and you get OK out of it. It's a very straightforward combo move, right? But it does a good amount of corner carry, especially if you happen to use her V skills after it. It can lead to good corner carry and OK, so that is nice. The other one is the EX Avant line. An EX Avant line is very good for Poison because it combos from her light kick, right? This makes it that Poison is able to interrupt forward movement with light kick and buffer EX Avant line after it. This is honestly one of the best checks that she have. If you think that the opponent is doing a fake block string, if you think that the opponent is doing something that you can interrupt, using light kick into EX Avant line is really good. And the beauty of this is that the EX Avant line is actually -2 on block, so you're pretty much safe in this instant, right? This is amazing. This is like checking with something into EX legs with Chun-Li. That is fantastic. Now, Avant line or EX Avant line is also particularly good with the V trigger 1 because it keeps the opponent in place for an extended period of time, and this allows you to capitalize on the burn damage. Here the opponent is burning as he is being hit by the whip. The move goes on for a decent amount of time, so you get a good value out of the burn damage that is caused by the Molotov. And obviously if you have V trigger 2, it also can link to the far range command grab, which leads to a lot of damage. So these two moves are very straightforward. But then we get to the cheap moves, and Poison got some of the cheapest EX moves in the game, starting first with the EX Love Me Tender. EX Love Me Tender for Poison is fantastic. As you just saw, this is projectile invincible, right? So you can use it to go through projectile. She can obviously zone their characters as well, so that's actually really good. But what makes this very tricky is that it's an overhead, right? And it's a really fast overhead. Poison got Crouching Heavy Punch, which is one of the most annoying low moves in the game. So her having a really fast overhead like that is the online special, right? You love to use it. Does lead to a not very great knockdown, but it is great to just throw it out there because it's one of these attacks that will put people on tilt. Now, what makes this attack even cheaper is that it's -4 on block. Most overheads in Street Fighter V are -7, -8. This is -4, so you don't get punished that heavily for it, which makes it very, very nice. But then we go to the ultra cheap. I mean, all of this is amazing, but then we get to talk about the heart rates, and each one of these are really good. Starting first with the most obvious one, which is the medium heart rate. This will pull the opponent in and pretty much allow you to continue your pressure. You're gonna be plus, so you get to frame trap them, or you get to like tick into throw, which gives Poison a very powerful pressure game. This is one of these moves that you can use to force the opponent to V reversal, so you pretty much deny them their comeback against you. It's very, very powerful. And obviously if you happen to have V trigger, I mean, you can use it and then combo into V trigger, and that will lead to a lot of damage if you have the resources, right? So like a very basic combo like that did 316. It actually did more than 316 because the counter doesn't count the burn damage. So this one is pretty great. And obviously if you have the other V trigger, you can cancel into it. Now the low option is also pretty sick. This low launcher, the light EX heart rate, have a lot of range, right? As you can see, this is like a half screen low, and it will launch, right? It will lead to a launching combo, right? So that's pretty great. If you have V trigger, this can lead to a lot of damage. Let's just do a basic combo with that. Right, this is something that's very basic to 188, and obviously you can go for the idol combo, which is this one, and this will lead to a lot of damage as well if you are willing to spend. Now the strength of this is that it is actually -2, right? This attack is -2, which is ridiculous. But it's not only that, also this move is not auto block. If the opponent is blocking the first attack only, they can actually get hit in between the two hits. right? So this is tricky. Sometimes people forget to block the second hit, so they get hit by the second one. So that's actually pretty great, right? And this move having like an overhead that is really fast and a low that has this much range and can lead to this much damage, that's actually amazing. And obviously there is the anti-air heart rate as well. This is a pretty solid anti-airs, lead to good damage, very large distance. And if you have V-Trigger 2, this is actually really powerful, because with V-Trigger 2 you can do something like this, and that is like 230 damage for like a half screen anti-air. You can activate off of this one, right? And this is a really good activation as well from an anti-air, 255 damage. So all of these moves are honestly just fantastic. Poison have some of the best EX moves in the game, hands down. Number 2 on the list is gonna be the mighty Bison. And Bison is also one of these characters whose every EX move he have is pretty great. Let's start first with the EX Blast, right? Because this attack is pretty much a now I get to set up a situation just because I have it out there kind of move. It's kind of like a Dhalsim EX Fireball, right? Once you have it out, the recovery on the actual fireball is very short. If the opponent tries to use a projectile invincible move, chances are you will recover in time and be able to deal with it. If they happen to block it, the move is actually blast a lot, so you likely got in. If they happen to try to jump, you can always anti-air them with the jumping medium punch. So that's great, and the move is actually very good in combos as well, right? If you happen to use something like, say, a crouching medium punch into it, right, that's a lot of damage, and it's very powerful on block. Like if you happen to use it on block, it's +6 on block at least, point blank, +6, that's amazing. It's excellent for all that sort of purpose, and you always get the Psycho Axe after it. So all of that is pretty great. A lot of Bison players honestly have the strategy of just using this as their get-in tool. So that's great. And speaking of get-in tools, I mean, we cannot forget about the Devil Reverse, right? The EX Devil Reverse is one of these attacks that can destroy people if they don't know how to properly deal with it. Now, in the recent times, people have gotten better at dealing with EX Devil Reverse. Early on, it was a lot more dangerous, especially with more lag in the game, but right now it's a lot more manageable, but it's still one of the premier, I will say one of the premier get-in tools in Street Fighter V, because it's very plus, right? If the opponent happen to block an EX Devil Reverse, and as you can see, you can like feint an opponent with it, but if you happen to block it, Bison is like +8 and in throw range. That's ridiculous, right? It's an amazing move. And the EX Head Stomp is also very good as well, especially if you are in the corner, right? Because you can escape with it, you can just hop over them and escape with it like that. You can come down into a plus frame situation, kind of deal with them, mix them up like that. Some characters who have like forward or backwards anti-air, this can ruin their anti-air timing, so this is actually really powerful. For example, a character like Chun-Li, who have to use her back heavy kick, you can kind of mess up with her anti-airs with the EX Devil Reverse and the EX Head Stomp. Both of them are very powerful. And obviously we got the EX Scissors. This is great, it's very fast, and it is plus on block. Now, Bison is not in throw range, he's actually far from throw range, but he got the standing light kick, which is a 3 frame. It puts him at a +1 advantage, so you pretty much get to check with it and see if the opponent try to do something. It's not uncommon for Bison players to do stuff like this. Lots of ship, so that's really great, right? And obviously this is also fantastic on hit, because EX Scissors on hit is a hard knockdown, right? So this is a hard knockdown, and you dash up and you are +3. So at a +3 advantage, this means that you pretty much get a guaranteed throw mix-up, and the opponent can't back rise to escape it. Bison is one of the few characters who can set up a guaranteed OK situation mid-screen, right? This is very good. Only him and a character like, for example, Ibuki with her radar special can do something like that kinda reliably. So EX Scissors is also great, and we got the EX Inferno. The other Inferno specials are unsafe on block, so if you do the Light Inferno, that is unsafe. Heavy Inferno is also unsafe. Inferno in general is a very good combo attack, and the good thing about the EX Inferno and that's also very good in combos, right? You can combo it, like for example, from a crouching medium punch, and this has a good juggle point potential, so you can link an EX scissors like that, and that will lead to a lot of damage. For a crouching medium punch poke, this is really good, right? This is a lot of good damage and a fantastic OK situation. But it doesn't stop there with Bison. All of this is great, right? But you have to realize that Bison have a V-trigger, his V-trigger 1, which is entirely reliant on him spending EX moves. Because with V-trigger 1, M Bison can deal insane damage, right? With V-trigger 1, he pretty much get a special to special cancel with his EX specials. So for example, you can do something like this with V-trigger 1, right? And now a jab is leading to 263 damage. If you want to spend, or if you are willing to spend with him, you can get some ridiculous damage output. A simple combo with him, I messed it up, but let's say a simple combo like that one, that is 466 damage. Look at how much damage and stun that build ultra quickly. And obviously, like I said, doing stuff like just jab into EX scissors like that, actually really great, right? His V-trigger 1 is almost entirely built around Bison having EX special moves, because they actually get really crazy. The EX scissors, which was +1 on block, with V-trigger 1, this is actually +3 on block, right? And Bison is a lot closer, so you can throw the opponent after. That is pretty great. The EX Headstorm, this becomes an invincible reversal. A lot of people don't know that M Bison's EX Headstorm is actually an invincible reversal, and because he gets an EX on EX cancel, if the opponent happen to block it, obviously it is -2 on block, so it is safe as it is. But if the opponent happen to block it, you can always just go for an EX blast, and now you got plus frames, so you get to keep going. Obviously, his V-trigger 2 is a lot more optimal, right? Because you don't have to save your power for the V-trigger, but you kind of have to consider how powerful and how high the potential is of his EX moves, especially in V-trigger 1. And the character with the best EX moves in Street Fighter V, in my opinion, is Laura. Not because Laura have the most variety of them, not every one of them is like amazing, but I do think Laura and her EX Thunderclap, this is probably the most versatile and I will say the most important EX special move in the game. I can see Bison without his EX moves, at least 1 or 2 of them. I can see Cody without EX Zonk or EX Ruffian, and he will be an alright character. Mika without some of her EX command grabs or like EX Peach, she will be a little bit weaker, but she will be fine, right? Laura simply cannot function without the EX Thunderclap, and obviously I do believe her V-Skill 1 is a big part of why the EX Thunderclap is very good to begin with. If you're not aware, when Laura hits you with an EX Thunderclap, you get put in a juggle state. You then can use a normal, and that would air reset the opponent. This is very powerful, right? But the reason that this is so good is if you happen to air reset them, then cancel into the V-Skill, you set up an OK situation where you can go for a left-right or a grab-throw mix-up, right? It's actually really powerful. It is the core of Laura's game plan, right? The identity of Laura is that sequence. So that is very powerful. But it's not only that. The strength of the Thunderclap is actually very good on block as well. If you happen to use it on block, notice Laura is +3. This means that this is Laura's main way of actually extending her pressure sequence. Because with Laura, you can either like go for like walk forward block strings, which the opponent can backdash, or you can go for like a light punch bolt, which is negative on block. Maybe you will rely on dashing or command dashing, but all of that is kind of like a fake pressure, right? The opponent have easy answers to it. The most legitimate way of pressure is simply the EX Thunderclap. This will give you plus frames. Then you can go for like a command grab, which is actually really solid. Now, all of this is amazing, but it gets way crazier in V-Trigger, because if Laura happens to activate her V-Trigger, a sequence like that is +4 on block. Look at the corner carry on this on block, right? We did a ton of corner carry, a hell of a block sequence, and we still have half of our V gauge. Yes, this takes half of her V gauge, but it's still really solid. And obviously, if you happen to have the V-Trigger active, I mean, look at the damage output, and obviously you can do a ton of resets with that one. Her EX Fireball is very volatile. It is the key to why Laura is such a volatile character. But as with every other one, it doesn't just stop there, because Laura actually got a bunch of other EX moves that I do think are really powerful. Her EX, EX Elbow, I do think is one of the better, if not the best, armored move in the game. Now, EX Peach is fantastic, right? But EX Peach is not as powerful as Laura's EX Elbow at countering Fireball or simply using in the neutral as a get-in tool. If say Ryu is throwing a Fireball, something like this, right, from a very far range, EX Bolt, and damn, you're in, you're at a +2 advantage, and this is great. Most of the armored moves in this game don't lead to such good knockdowns, especially ones that are really fast like that one. And one thing that is actually very good about the EX Bolt as well is that you can actually combo into it out of lights, right? So now you can get a knockdown like that one, and you will be at a +2 advantage, which means you get a tick or throw game, and obviously you can go for command grabs as well if you want. So this is pretty buff. Now, she also have a kind of a tricky EX command grab, right? And the strength of the EX command grab is that it leads to a very good OK situation. So for example, if you happen to forward throw the opponent, right, this is a real sequence. They can pretty much, like, they have to backdash or like don't quick rise to escape out of this, and all of this is really great. But one of the things that make it really solid is that it actually get enhanced in V-Trigger as well. With V-Trigger 1 on, this have a ton of range. Look at how far this goes, almost like half screen range, which makes it pretty tricky to deal with. And also one thing that's actually really good about this one is that it is Fireball invincible. So you can just go under his Hadouken and bam, you get the command grab, lead to a lot of damage, 210 in V-Trigger, which is actually pretty good, and you get a good situation after it. Her command grab mix-ups can be difficult and can be hard to react to. And that is pretty much it for today's video. Let me know your thoughts on this one. There are a couple of characters who I obviously would have considered. I considered Urien because Urien does have amazing EX special moves. I've considered Balrog because they also have really good ones, and a bunch of others, but these two I say, and also Chun-Li. I think Balrog, Urien, and Chun-Li were probably the closest candidates to making it into this list. Let me know your thoughts in the comment below. I will be leaving a link to the Patreon page, the Discord page, the Twitter and Twitch page in the description. Thank you very much for watching and stay safe.